Now, if you click this video, I'm assuming you're here to watch my series. Yes, this is video 1 of a 5-part series. My name is Anna, I'm a student at the University of West Oahu, and this is my senior capstone project, this 5-part series. The really long title being Japanese Culture and Western Media, mainly centered in the US. Now, I'd have to say I have a pretty active campus life at school, and sometimes I even go to Tokai University to meet the Japanese and Korean students. My video series is based on content I wish to see more of, which is also what I want to share with all of you. Since my video series is on the shared relationship Japan has with the West, let's talk about it. Japanese culture has influenced artists in music, movies, and even cartoons. I have interviews lined up with my current professors and past professors to answer questions, and I even want to interview everyday people. I think it's important to show that cultures influence us everywhere, especially living here in Hawaii. I want to share my journey with you and take you along for the ride. However, that brings up the question, what is culture? To answer this question, I have my Japanese professor, Minori Sensei. She teaches Japanese and Japanese culture here at West.
My name is Minori Murata, and I'm teaching Japanese here at UH West Oahu. And I was born in Akita in Japan. I have 2 kids and raising them here in Hawaii. So I have like different opinion. It's more like a collectivistic culture. So I feel more secure if I do the same thing as other people do.
What was your favorite tradition?
Maybe like family event, like a family and relatives also get together. Do you know Bon dance? Yeah, Obon. So we respect ancestries, and we kind of get together and talk about the people died, in a family.
Why do you think so many people outside of Japan find Japanese culture so appealing?
That's the question I always ask myself. Why? Because, my students, like medicine, want to go to Japan. Being Japanese citizen, myself, it's kind of hard to find. But probably culture, like visiting Kyoto and like historical, areas, maybe they can visit. I think, tourists can enjoy both sides. So city life and also traditional aspect of Japanese culture, they can enjoy both. I'm really proud of Japanese people. They are very welcoming tourists and from foreign countries, and they are really nice to serve people outside. So I think that's also the reasons why people want to keep visiting Japan.
What aspects of Japanese culture do you think are most misunderstood by people outside of Japan?
I don't know about its culture, but more like conversational speech styles. Yeah, Japanese people, they don't want to, give direct no. So always we want to agree with whatever you say. So even though I want to say no, I have a tendency to say yes or like, maybe. So I think, speech differences or speech styles. Japanese people, we are misunderstood by foreign people. Some people think that we are unclear or we're like strange and they smile all the time. But but there's always a reason behind. Yeah, so I think Japanese people like to stay on the like a common ground and not to be in the same group. So it's again, it's a collectivistic culture. So being outside is very uncomfortable. So they want to be in the same group. So that kind of speech differences and then thinking and culture bases are very different from American and even from Hawaii. But it's very different from Japan. Yeah, so individualistic ideas, they don't have, everybody has to be the same.
Do you have any final thoughts you want to share?
I really appreciate my students taking my class because they're very interested in Japanese culture, which means they're very open to other cultures, unknown things, you know. So it really helps, it really helps students to open up their horizon and see other stuff, not, being in Hawaii, but different perspectives. It's very important. So you ask me this question, it's very important. Important. Yes. So open up the eyes, yeah, and to see the world, So go to Japan, go to other places in the world. It's very important. So that's my mission here. Yeah, and then open the mind to other people and other cultures.
What I learned from Minori Sensei is that Japanese culture differs a lot from Western culture in terms of speech, individuality, and customs. Japan isn't really a place where people want to stick out, but instead want to fit in. Moving on to Dr. Jayson Chun, another professor at West Oahu who teaches Asian history.
My name is Jayson Chun, and I'm a professor of history at the University of Hawaii, West Oahu. And my specialty is studying Japanese popular culture and Korean popular culture.
And can you explain what J culture is?
Well, J culture is really a highly Americanized form of culture that incorporates, for example, what most people like about Japan overseas. Anime, manga, fashions, J-pop, the subculture, the video games. It's different from really what we call Japanese culture, which is, the more what you call traditional Japanese cultural forms, kind of like martial arts, or kimonos, or temples. J culture really is a highly Americanized form of Japanese culture. And it reflects actually the heavy American and Western influence in Japan, especially after war, when fashions, movies, music all poured in. So what we call J culture is combining these influences into something that is very easily understandable outside of Japan. So for example, I argue that most people have grown up with J culture as part of their lives. Everyone who grew up with Pokemon, which, now anyone under 30, worldwide, J culture is now the biggest part of how people have grown up. It's a very familiar culture.
Can you explain how social media plays a role in spreading Japanese culture in the West?
When I was a young man in high school, the only way I could watch Japanese anime was having my relatives in Japan send me bulky VHS tapes. So I'd watch it. I had really no one else to watch it with maybe just one friend. It was a very lonely world. I could maybe get manga from Japan, read it with the help of a dictionary, and have no one to speak to about it. So it was a very lonely time to be an anime fan. What social media has done is two things. Number one, it's made it really easy to get access to Japanese culture. You got now like these shows in Japan come out and they appear simulcast in, all around the world, worldwide. And they're often done with dubbing or with subtitles. So they're very easy to understand. But I think the most important thing that people do not realize is because of social media, it helps create a community where people can talk about these things. So it's not like in the past where I was all by myself and I could watch something and have no one to talk with. You can go online, you can talk about it, you can read articles about it. Everybody sees it, via online. And even, on social media, you can talk about it in Discord rooms or talk about it in person. So what then really the online revolution has done is actually it's helped spread the reach of anime, but social media has created a fan community, right? I mean, you can sit and talk to people from all over the world about anime. And I think that's what the key innovation is that's helped spread J culture worldwide.
What are your thoughts on the commercialization of Japanese culture?
Well, all pop culture is commercial, right? I mean, if it's not commercial, then why even make something that people like? right? People who live in another world, oh, I don't need to make money. Yeah, then, you can write whatever you want. But what happens is when something's commercialized, think about it. Will you write for free? No, right? But if you can make money from it, you'll do it. And so I think it's good it's commercialized. There's nothing necessarily bad. Actually then allows artists a means to survive. By being commercialized, anime has to really understand what the audience wants. Companies will quickly find out what audiences want. To me, that's what anime is. It's what we call popular media culture. Media can reach out to millions of people, but only corporations can really do this. Now, not all commercialization is good in some ways. Here's why. Then things become very formulaic. Like, for example, The Idol Master or, Love Live. I cannot tell the difference anymore. It makes a lot of money, but I don't watch it. It just doesn't appeal to me. But because of that, because of the commercial imperative, you're always going to have artists who will make something a little bit different. Like, for example, when I first saw Dan Da Dan, I go, what? How interesting! It makes so many Ultraman references. It has a very quirky style. It's about high schoolers, and yet they behave like high schoolers, awkward, and yet with magic and UFOs and that. It's really interesting. So what, in my opinion, I really think the commercial imperative, it can make really boring anime, right? On the other hand, because people want something different, it'll make something so exciting.
What I learned from Dr. J is that Japanese culture has become very widespread, and although it has been commercialized, he did mention that there are pros and cons. The accessibility and reach of audiences through anime and manga have expanded beyond Japan and is able to connect people from across the globe. With all that said, thank you for watching episode 1, and I'll see you in episode 2, which will be all about music.